Hello, St. Mary's. In the image just above this video, we have a religious icon, which in classic iconography is called the Pantocrator, which means the ruler of all or the Almighty. It is a picture in art form of what we sang about yesterday when we sang that Christ is King. Here, presented before us in stylized form, is the risen Christ whom we call King. And this icon calls us to contemplation of what it means to call Christ King. We see here a couple of things which demand our attention. Of course, we see the halo around his head, which is a symbol of divinity, reflecting Jesus' own claim that he had some kind of oneness with God. In one hand, Jesus is holding a book. We would understand it to be a Bible, which is a symbol of the story of the gospel that we tell Sunday after Sunday. In his other hand is a blessing. It is held in blessing, but it's also making two significant gestures. The first are the three fingers touching together, which is a call to the fact that Jesus is one part of the Holy Trinity. And the two fingers held aloft is intended to remind us of the dogma that Jesus is both fully man and fully God. And then ultimately our eyes wander back to the face. And we realize that we are not looking at a stylized face of a god as if it was Zeus or even Caesar who claimed to be God, but rather we're looking at a man, a person, a man who walked the earth. And if we know the stories of the book in his hand, we remember that Jesus was a man acquainted with suffering, who knows our struggles, who endured the burden of our humanness all the way to the cruel cross. We also will remember that he was raised again. That is the story, in short, that is presented to us in this picture. And those eyes are painted in such a way that they stare at us and they hold us and they ask a question. Who do you, ultimately and finally, say that Christ is? And as long as we are willing to look into those eyes, this icon is a witness that shows us who we really are and who we are also made to be. Because, of course, we too are made in the image of God. And in looking at Jesus, we see humanity itself. And in looking at Jesus, we see who we are called to be. Christ the King is not just a call to acknowledge the power of Christ, though it certainly is that. Christ the King is also a call to acknowledge our own deepest humanity. That even in our burdens, even in our humanness, even in our struggles, we are loved by God, we are saved by Christ's cross, and yes, friends, we are even heirs to the very kingdom of God. And so may this icon perhaps inform your prayers this week, and may this good news inform you as you pray for your neighbors who are also made in the image of God. And as we proclaim Christ as King, there we will find peace and good.